Hello, everybody, and welcome to session number 7, lucky number 7, hopefully, of the Ready Persona campaign. We are here with our characters once again. When we last left us off, it was a little bit of a cliffhanger. Things got really dire, especially for one of the characters. I'm really intrigued to see how that's going to affect the rest of our story. But before we do that, I wanted to jump right in to the warm-up question. And I think this might be kind of a fun and interesting one. Think about your virtual characters. And if your character in real life were to have the abilities of any other PC virtual character other than your own.
I think Cade would enjoy the Knave of Diamonds abilities. He matches the trickery mindset far more than Chrono does, and could probably put them to pretty good use.
And for Abe, it would probably be yellow. I think, yeah, because the whole gadget ID, Abe himself is a little bit into technology as well, and he has some small technological skills. He knows how to do some stuff with his computer and that kind of stuff. So it would, yeah, it piques his interest a lot, like the whole deal of gadgets and that kind of stuff. He could put a lot of cool things on his motorcycle, for instance. Yeah, he would really enjoy that.
I think Gabe would want Chrono's power because teleportation is fun. Just being like, I don't need the. Oh no, I'm late. Just and then just pop somewhere else and be like, I'm here because your distance is like what, 2 miles? Or like
something crazy
half
like
a mile,
that.
I believe.
Half a mile. Look,
Mm-hmm.
look teleporting half a mile per like 6 seconds. That's better than all I can do.
Maybe you would have been a more present father.
Oh no, I'm late.
No, it would get easier to work.
That's true. But if he didn't have to commute, you know,
That's true.
that
Commuting.
does make a difference.
Plus we are in a city. Damn.
True.
But I think it'd be the Knave of Diamonds.
Okay.
Forest is, well, they're pacifistic in nature, and it makes complete sense for them to not pick abilities that are actively harmful to other people. They are a little bit tricky. I mean, we've seen here lately that Forest, they're nice, but they're not necessarily honest. And a lot of those illusion abilities could definitely help them fulfill some of that unhonest nature that they may or may not have.
I'm going to ask a follow-up question, which is related, somewhat similar, but not really. Thinking about your real life characters this time, if you could have your PC character walk in the shoes of another character. So in other words, if you were to hypothetically swap bodies for a day, just to purely experience what that other person goes through or how they're feeling and et cetera, just for a day, who would that other PC character be? And you can answer this either in character because your character may be interested or curious, or out of character because you as a player think it would be interesting for your character to walk in this other character's shoes for a day.
Definitely Abe would want to live a day as Cade.
Oh.
Yeah, because he learned that his brother, Rook, is kind of having a similar view of the world.
Yeah.
So living one day as Cade would probably make a lot of sense to learn that view more and maybe try to understand where it comes from, and just he would use it to understand his brother more in that regard. And also, yeah, just learn why Cade is Cade. Because yeah, it's intriguing that someone who's doing such horrible things actually feels really human. And that's something that Abe learned over the last few sessions. Like, Cade is so human to him, and he's feeling weird in that way. He wants to understand this more, why he's sympathizing with a serial killer.
For me, I think it would be interesting. I don't think Cade would choose this, but I would like Cade to walk in Forest's shoes because I think that Cade thinks he knows Forrest, but would be surprised what that perspective was actually like. I think he's placed his projections over Forrest. So as me, I think he would learn the most from that experience.
I was going to say, if once he does learn more about Forrest, do you think he would respect him more or less?
That's a hard question to answer, because it's like once you it's his blanket, it's his safety blanket, and so losing it would be hard. But would he probably have more respect, as like, because you're seeing the complexity of someone? So I think there would be more respect, but he wouldn't enjoy the experience of having his worldview messed up with a little bit.
I think for Gabe would be Ave. I think he would choose Ave because Ave's his is one of his employees that works under him. So for him, he would want to know more about his employees, because he feels like, as someone who he's probably felt like he got screwed over by his bosses, he wants to know his people more, so that not only does he want to get the work done, but he wants his people to actually have a life, and he wants to understand them so he can do best by them with like people who have never done with him. So that's why you would choose Ave.
That's something Forrest desires a lot, like the ability to understand others, and being able to walk into somebody else's shoes would be an experience and a half for them. But who to do it to? That's the question. I mean, I think it would. I think it would be Abe.
I was going to say, it's interesting for you because you already have an ability that empathizes and can feel what other people are feeling in the moment, but it's one thing to be aware of what they're feeling, but it's another thing to actually experience it.
Yeah.
So that's why I thought it was interesting. But you said it's going to be Ave.
Yeah, I think because like Forrest knows somewhat who Gabriel is, and Cade is also a case where they kind of know what's going on, but Ave is a little bit of a mystery to them. And yeah, they're friendly with each other, but they've never experienced really a lot of who they are with each other. So I think Forrest would pick Ave.
Can we shoot that question back to you? Huh?
You can. With which NPC?
Ooh, I'd be interested in Gabe's ex-wife, who she would want to walk shoes with.
Yeah,
So that's the in real life character, right?
Yeah. You know what? Let's do that for the real life first. Then
I'd say Root Canal.
With Root Canal, okay. Root Canal's identity was never really fully revealed, right?
right.
So all I'm going to say is, if the player who's controlling Root Canal, and this might maybe even give it away or give you a hint, if there was another character whom they would want to have the powers of, and again, just to make this simpler for me, I'll just stick with the PCs. I mean, this might be a little bit too obvious because they're already pretty close in the game, but yellow. I think Root Canal admires a lot of Yellow's physical capabilities, certainly.
Oh, okay.
So
you're wrong. Wow.
So yeah, I think I would probably say that. And then as for you said you want to do Ariel out of character. I mean, the obvious answer would be Gabe, because they got divorced, so that's the obvious answer. But another answer I would give, and again, I'll try to keep this to the PCs, which only leaves me with the other three. She hasn't quite met. I mean, she has, but she hasn't really gotten to a big conversation with any of the other three. So I'll have to do this out of character. Probably, again, this might be the second obvious one, but probably Cade. And I say that only because she knows has been living with Gabe this whole time, and her kids, at least Angie, seems to be intrigued by Cade, which I think is also very interesting, considering how Angie and Cade are essentially very much the same age, similar if it comes down to it. So I think that's interesting too. So having her be in his shoes I thought would give her some insight. So who wants to go first with the card they drew?
The Hanged Man, which I think is me.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It is
wow.
you. So that means, oh wow, your chrono, you get +2 to everything for the whole session. It's just +2 to everything for the whole. That's a really good card for you to have.
Oh, boy, Joey, we're gonna
And
lose.
having it now might be really nice, actually.
I got the star.
Ooh.
Star, that's that is
Viridian.
Viridian.
Mm.
Give me back my stuff.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
that could
got-
be very useful.
Wait,
I
did we
did it
get the
too.
same card? Oh no.
Did you get the
You got-
magician? You got the
I
magician?
for myself.
You get +2 on everything today too.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh man.
What are the odds?
Nice.
I love it.
I drew the devil.
Oh, have you gotten the devil yet?
No,
I think we got the devil in like session 0 or
we
session
used to
1
have
or
the
something.
devil.
Oh, but you don't know
That
who's
was-
it was assigned to initially.
That was Jack, I think. No.
It was
I thought
Jack,
it was Jack.
but
Mhm.
I can reveal who the devil is now because you've actually officially met this character. It's Dr. Kemper. The devil is Dr. Kemper.
Ooh.
Oh, that's so.
Ooh.
I was expecting another one.
Um,
Is that a
am
good or bad card?
Really excited to see more of Dr. Kemper at some point.
the other thing is that in addition to you being able to use that on Dr. Kemper, is I could also use it to veto 1 hero point or 2 extra efforts from you. I could.
You could.
So I could. So
You don't have
It's
to.
not-
but you
it's a
could.
not-
I don't
card
have
again.
to, but I could. It's a naughty card. So now let's get back to the game. We were in the middle of the gauntlet and we're playing Capture the Flag. Now the problem is it's been a while and I know that there's some fake flags out there and I'm trying to remember who has a real red flag and a real blue flag.
So I'm pretty sure Captain Crunch has the real red flag, and
Homeboy has a real blue,
has
yeah.
the real blue flag
And
because
Homeboy has the
they
real
were
blue flag.
because they were playing the fence, and then Homeboy was like, "Well,
Right.
when you get there, switch them."
Mhm.
And then Captain Crunch just found it and just stayed in the
Right.
corner. No one bothered
Because because blue is Homeboy's team and red is Captain Crunch's team, so they have their own flags, right? So I think Homeboy was trying to tell, or somebody was trying to strategize, like let's just get to the goal and then swap flags. I think that was the goal.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the last round, Captain Crunch came in, and just completely kryptonited poor Odin.
Oh,
I think, at least out of character, Kyle asked me a question about Odin's helmet, and I told you, Kyle, whatever you think serves the story the best.
so I'll say when the spear breaks, the armor shifts, and now it is nothing but really nice, like a suit. Not something Gabe would actually naturally wear, but it would look like this. This is what the face is gonna be used for his dad. But this is like the kind of outfit he's wearing, or like glasses and a fedora. But I want to hero point something though, Hark.
Sure.
Alright, Wow.
Go for it.
Everyone can know it's Gabe, except for his son, because he can't recognize him because of the glasses and the suit. The Clark Kent effect.
Okay. So Loki would still not recognize you.
Yeah, like his daughter will.
But Thor
can.
would.
Thor
Okay.
would, but everyone
I'm
goes,
okay
"Wait,
with
is
that."
that him?" And Loki goes, "What are you talking? I don't know who this guy is."
Right, and because they can't talk out of character,
Yeah.
it's not like, what do you mean? You know who that? They can't talk like that.
Yeah.
But okay, yeah, I think that's fine. That's perfectly fine. Okay, so we're back at the top of the initiative, and that would be Chrono.
Okay, so Chrono is frustrated that the flag keeps teleporting out of his hand, and he's pretty sure it's Knave. So he's gung-ho going for Knave. Just for a little bit of flavor, I want to say that Chrono, normally shining bright, looks heroic. As he's descending more and more into frustration, I want his armor to kind of dim down to a gray, and his normally
Nice.
bright light going to more of a blue. And he's starting to look a little bit more villainous than he is heroic, but I'm teleporting right at the Knave, and I'm going to try and murder him.
Okay, wow, oh wow. Oh,
Why, hello there.
Sure, you can go ahead.
Then you.
That'd be 28.
Yeah, so that'd be 28.
Wow.
Well, it shows I
on.
can't
plus 2.
even get a 28. No,
No, it's
no,
19
no.
because he has +2 to everything.
Oh yeah, so that would just be 9. So that would be.
So is that 1?
1, yeah.
Yeah.
Going to burn the sun
Nice.
to attack again,
Okay.
Oh no.
and just say, "Your tricks end now," and attack. Yeah, that's gonna be 36.
Oh my goodness.
36.
37.
I
So
think
that's
that's another plus
27
5.
points of difference.
So that,
16, so it's 12 difference,
16. Okay.
which is the same. Yeah.
So
12.
2.
No, that would be at 2 degrees. So you would have another injury, and next round, but only for next round, you can only take 1 action in your movement, or movement or an action.
And after that, I'll teleport back. I'll just teleport around this area.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Wow, that's power.
I've been brutalized. Chrono. It wasn't very nice of you now, was it? Didn't know you could be so villainous. I'm just an innocent magician.
I'm just
Yeah, innocent.
Root Canal, who is on the blue team, I believe. So she is going to go and just see what's going on the other side here. Yellow is up. You're engaging with Odin, who is no longer Odin, kind of.
No longer
looks-
empowered yet.
Also, like I said, it just looks like Gabe in front of you without the halo and just in fancy clothing, basically.
Okay, seeing this civilian now in standard clothes, I'm going to kind of drop the combative stance that I've had, and I'm going to pull out my pistol and just point it right at you and look, love, you have probably about 5 seconds to surrender before I put one right between your head, so I'd suggest you get on the ground. And I'm going to hold my action to handcuff him if he surrenders.
Okay. All right. So we'll find out when it's his turn. Thor is still out. Homeboy, he is booking it, and Homeboy is still communicating with Knave right now.
Mhm.
And
So
that's exactly what just happened.
he probably can feel what you just
Ow.
felt. And he says, "Bro, I'm almost at the base. I'm almost there. Can you hold off like another 6 seconds?"
I'll manage. Just hurry up, please.
Why don't you just swap the flags as soon as you can? Is what he'll say. The last thing he'll say. Moji is not sure like what's happening around him, so he's still like moving around. I think they're converging. A lot of people are converging on the upper left, it looks like.
Oh boy.
And Loki, who's on blue, he's going to go over here and basically take one look at Odin and like tilts his head, not because he recognizes Odin, but because he normally doesn't see his father in a suit like that. So I think he's gonna go. He's gonna be ready to like unleash his phantasm, but seeing Odin, he doesn't even know it's Odin. He just sees some random person in a suit, and he just says, "Do we have another player here?"
Ah, my son!
You must be the knave of diamonds trying to fool me. It is but an illusion. I will not be fooled by you impersonator of...
My son! Why would Knave? He's on our team!
He stops and thinks about that for a moment.
He would only backstab us when it's good for him.
He's thinking about that for a moment, and then it's actually officially your turn, Odin.
Out of character, goddamn. So I'm locked in pitch combat with another warrior. And then someone comes with a devious trick.
Okay, the capture the flag event. That was, well, it kind of felt like me as a player I haven't put enough specifications into anything to be especially useful.
And bites my spear and breaks it in half.
Yes, I could defend the flag. I could try to chase down somebody. I could hinder people. I could... Well, I probably couldn't do magic stuff that was happening in the middle with all the bamfing flags around. But,
This is why I like Cinnamon Toast Crunch over Captain Crunch.
well, I just didn't feel very useful.
Being this human form, it's hard to move. It must be this damn suit. I'll get my revenge, Captain Crunch. Odin's not gonna go
Your
down.
son.
Like I said, he's not gonna play down, but I'm just trying to think what he's gonna do. The only thing he has left is his toughness, which I mean is.
I mean, that's still something.
No, I'm just gonna grab the red flag from Captain Crunch and buck it.
Yeah, doing a opposed strength.
Oh boy.
You still have your normal strength, right?
That is true. I still have a 6 strength, but I don't know. Captain Crunch could end up being like the most buffest man under that cloak.
We'll see.
A hearty breakfast.
Careful, he might just bite your arm off.
I rolled a 5. You took it.
And I only have 30 feet of movement, so just
Yeah, you have the flag. Good
So,
stuff.
All Father never gives up,
Attack's a thing.
but he does make strategic retreats.
I'm not gonna swap just yet, just because I don't know the whereabouts of the other flag, and I don't want to take that risk.
Okay.
So what I'm gonna
Okay.
do is I'm gonna just lie on that magical thing, and I'm gonna illusion myself bleeding out.
Oh,
of that
okay.
thing.
Yeah, you're allowed to do that.
Just like last seconds of life, just just the worthless person on the ground. And that's it. I'm just waiting until I have confirmation.
Okay. Captain Crunch is going to try to run and take the flag back from Odin. Go ahead and roll. Go ahead and roll your opposed. I got a natural 1. Okay. I'm just gonna say that Captain Crunch will probably, try to grab a hold of the flag, and then maybe Odin's, he kind of like does a little bit of a dodge, and Captain Crunch like crashes headfirst into the wall and knocks himself out temporarily. So he's at minimum dazed.
Oh boy.
At minimum. Chrono, you're back. Back to you, I think.
I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm going into to finish him off. So the senses you have to fool is I have one eye in infrared right now, one eye normal, and then my super hearing. So if the illusion gets through all that, then I miss or whatever. But I'll let Hark decide what happens with that.
So it's an What is the nature of your illusion? Is it just visual
Just
or
myself. And it's visual, auditory, and olfactory. So smell, sound, and visual.
no? But there's magical elements to it. So I guess what I'll say is I'll determine it based on a roll. What does he normally have to beat?
There is a thing for my illusion. Yeah, it's It's a DC 20 insight check.
Okay.
Insight? Okay. Roll an insight and let me see. You can add your +2 to this, and I just want to see what you get.
So I have a normal +2 to insight, so I need to get 16 or better. I rolled a 6, so I did not.
What you do see though is that there's still a red flag next to him.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't
That's a
trust
real
flags
one.
right now. The flags keep disappearing, and there's a
That's
million
true.
of them. So I'm just stabbing the illusion.
All right. So you believe that you're stabbing it. So I don't think at the moment you don't believe it's illusion. You feel like you're physically stabbing this person. So
Yeah. So it's like even though it's bleeding, you're bleeding out on the ground. It's like no mercy going in for the kill. And then it's an illusion, so I don't think I have to roll anything.
So my question is, right now, Ave is witnessing Chrono/Cade stabbing his virtual body. And does Cade's expression, does he still have his helmet on?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm thinking of him as kind of like an intimidating presence right now with that gray
Gotcha.
armor and blue flaming sword just kind of coming in.
Okay.
ruthlessly.
Still very, very intimidating seeing your Cade come in and try to slaughter your body. So
So after I swing at it, do I know it's an illusion at that point, or do I think I just hit him? What
you just think that
happens?
he hit him because he
Okay.
fooled you. He fooled you. So especially with 6, I would say no. You think that you're done. He's
Cool.
he's gone. He's down.
And I'll do the exact same thing.
And you're gonna teleport back. Okay.
Yeah, I'll teleport to. I'm keeping it kind of random.
Okay.
I got it. You can move on.
Okay.
When Nutmeg comes in and knows that's actually illusion, just shakes his head at
Fucking nutmeg! No! Don't you dare! Silly squirrel. My nemesis.
Root Canal will walk over to Odin, and very quickly she'll say, "Do you want to run with the flag, or do you want me to take it?
He goes, my speed's reduced. Well, what's your speed?
I'm pretty fast. Hand it to me."
Here, go. I'll defend you.
All right.
Take a
So now,
defensive stance.
so now she has the flag. All right, and she's going to. You'll pass the flag. I'll say as a minor action, and then as her standard, she's going to. She can't move anymore, so she's going to hold her standard action to throw out her brace wiring to try to stop whoever comes through the wall, if anyone does.
Everyone keeps running away from me. Lovely. Okay, so I'm gonna put away my pistol again, and I'm just gonna say, I really hate it when you all run from me. I'm gonna pull out my wrist. I'm gonna click the wristwatch on my wrist, and out of it shoots the grappling hook, but this time it's more aimed less at actually grappling, and it's going to try to ensnare Dentist Lady.
Okay.
So
I use my interpose to get in
Ah.
between.
Okay.
it is an area of effect.
Oh, all right.
Okay. That's
Technically, it's a 5-foot area of effect.
then it would affect both of them. Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh,
That's
it would
a good.
affect both of them?
Yeah, because
Yeah, 5 foot.
Okay.
So yeah,
technically also affects Captain Crunch, but he's knocked out.
technically, yeah.
So you guys need to make dexterity saves.
Okay, what do I have to beat?
Let me pull up so my DC's 12.
Oh yeah, no,
I beat it.
I fail.
Okay, so you interposed anyway, inadvertently. So what happens to Odin?
I kind of put it out and kind of turn the little second, like the tuning knob on the watch, and it outspits, and he kind of jumps in the way, I imagine, and he just gets wrapped up in a bunch of like a grappling hook's twine.
Okay.
And he can't move. He's just stuck there.
Well, there's different degrees, right? So what's
Always
the?
in the way?
Is there different degrees, or am I just trapped?
I believe there is.
Because that would only be 1 degree. So.
You're hindered and vulnerable.
Okay. So that means I forgot what hindered and vulnerable means. I think it's easier to hit me. Just.
Yeah.
Hindered is you can't move half of your. You can only move half your movement, and vulnerable is, well, your active defenses are not active.
All right. Cool.
Okay. It's a good call that Root Canal has the flag then. All right. Our Thor is still out, and Homeboy, he's gonna book it, and he's gonna immediately tell. He's gonna immediately, put the flag in the base because he can, because there's no effect for him putting the base, and he's like, "Where's the flag? Swap it already! We would have won by now." He says, yelling at Knave. "We would have won by now. Where is it?"
Do I hear that?
Working on it.
Do I
Working
hear
on
that?
it. Would he have heard that?
Yeah, Chrono with his super hearing, would he hear that yell right there?
Yeah, it's not really a yell, right? Because we have swapped. We have like a swap ear. I think.
They're still. He's still speaking.
But it's
He's
yeah.
still speaking. So what's happening is you're hearing what he would have heard, but I'll roll a. It's possible that with your super hearing you could have heard it coming from the source where he physically is. So go ahead, Chrono, and roll a
Dirty
hearing.
20.
Dirty 20.
For perception.
Perception. Yeah, I'm gonna say that you heard it coming from here, from where Homeboy is. You heard it. So I'll let you decide what to do with that information. Moji, I'm gonna roll a D2 because I don't know which direction he would go, left or right. 1 means he goes to the left. 1, he goes to the left. So he's gonna go over to the left. And Moji is red, so he is with yellow, and then Loki is blue. Yeah, I mean, I guess he's just gonna look around for the flag. He sees that Loki has the blue flag, so he's gonna try to he's gonna turn into the waving hand and try to snatch it from Loki. So he got a 19. So I think in Loki's confusion, very easily Moji was able to snatch the flag from him. Let me just make sure he and Loki got a natural 1. So so he basically is still confused for the next round. So he doesn't do anything this round. Odin, you're up. You're bound, hindered.
So how do I get out? Strength, dexterity?
Yeah, it's a I believe actually a dex or a strength. Well, it says it's dodge 12, but I think in technicality you can get out with a strength because you're now hindered. Or you're now under the effect.
So let me roll strength. Just try to bust out. 16.
That'll do it.
Can he still act, or is that the end of his turn?
I think that would just be the action, so I think I can still move.
You can still move.
Which means
You
you're not
got 30
hindered
feet.
anymore. Oh, even
So-
if he broke out, he still is hindered?
No, well, I mean that's just his movement speed, right? 30 feet.
Oh,
Yeah, because
Yeah,
I no longer have
right.
spear to boost my speed.
Gun gill.
Okay, I'm trying to think. What do I do? Should I block the hole so they don't fall? You know what? Just with 30 feet. I'm just gonna go right in between where the hole is and just stand my ground.
I've already thought of what Captain Crunch's confessional is going to be. Is when after he bit Gun Gear, he'll be like, Gun Gear, more like Gone Gear.
Yeah.
Anyway.
If he keeps
What's your
chewing it,
account
would it
name
be?
again?
If he keeps chewing, would it be gum here?
Gum Gear.
Gear.
Gum Gear.
God damn it. Oh man.
Some calculations. I have a +2 from my card. I'm gonna use an extra effort to give me a circumstance bonus of +2 as well. So that's a +4, and then I'm gonna do that magic thing on the to swap the
Go
flags.
Let's
I'm
see
gonna
what-
roll, but don't say the result yet, because if I'm not happy with it, I'm gonna use a hero point to do the reroll thing. So
Okay, I'm
Let's
not going to
see
see
what
the
it-
result.
yeah, I'm gonna keep that
That's
one.
pretty good.
That's pretty
I
good.
think you
That's a
should.
35.
I think you should. Okay. You will use the magic. It'll swap the flags. Technically, the flag that Homeboy put into the base is already in. And so in that moment that you technically win that game, and there's a big whistle that blows, or like alarms or whatever, go through the air, and you'll hear an announcer say, "Players, stop playing. We have a winner. The blue team wins."
For a little bit of cinematic, I just want Nave to have like done this, switch the flags, and kind of turn it around. There's a sword next to him that stopped because the game ended.
And you're like,
I surrender.
Logan says, "We won! Father, we won! Father, where are you? Where are you?"
Huzzah!
Wait, hold on a moment. It's a good thing. What's your name?
I'm the All-Father.
No. There's no way Father would dress up like this.
And goes, this is penance for the breaking of Gungear.
No. How?
The captain of the Crunch.
Crunch. This is too far. This has to be against the rules. There's no way that this would be allowed.
Sadly, it's not. But don't worry, I shall forge Gungear once more. But what is important is that our team won!
We won. We won. Take that, Knave. Oh, that's right. You're on my team. I keep forgetting we're on the same team.
You should probably
Not
think
that, Knave. Wherever you are. Is he still alive? Is he still alive? I mean, it does nothing matters to me. But is he still alive?
Well, we lost the first round, unfortunately.
Yes! Go, blue team! Victory is ours!
Mostly due to Nave.
A plan executed perfectly. Every step to perfection. It was well thought of both me and Homeboy. We quite carried this team.
I expect that it had most to do with Nave, but if I'm being honest, I feel I could have done better with the communication side of things. If our team had some way of talking to one another as we were moving through the maze, would have been very useful, because I was pretty much alone for the whole scenario.
But I think in the end, we proved that brains always win over brawn. Isn't it right, Chrono?
But I did show Nave his place.
The labyrinth walls will just fade away and revealing where everybody is. I think that Homeboy will run up to well, I don't know if he can tell. I don't think he can see through your illusion, so he's just gonna think that you're dying. So Homeboy's gonna be like, "No, Knave!" He's gonna grab the illusion and try to, call for help, and just cradling your limp like body.
Moment he really touches it, it's obviously
okay.
fake.
Okay.
I'm just gonna drop it with the
Okay.
like million red flags field that we also have.
Okay, fair enough.
And the Minotaur
Oh yeah, and the Minotaur. That's true. That's true.
keeps dancing.
Thor will start coming to around this point, and she's just gonna go over to Yellow and the rest and Chrono and the rest of the team, and she's gonna say, "What happened?"
I'm inspecting the remains of gun gear right now. And as
Oh, no,
I
I have it.
Oh, you have it? Okay.
Yeah.
So the good news is it's a clean cut. So it's not like it's in a whole bunch of pieces. It's two distinct pieces, two distinct halves. So, reforging it shouldn't be as bad. It'll take some time, but it should be doable.
A hand will be on their pistol, staring daggers at Odin. I'm sorry, what did you say about that? I wasn't paying attention.
Thor will stare at Odin and then walk up to him, and she's going to look at you and say, "Father,
Yes.
is this a brand new form?"
I've been in this form once or twice. I'm looking between the two of them, and obviously one of them is still oblivious, and one of them.
this, yes, very much so.
I,
And
I lean in and a whisper. I go, he's never gonna let you live this down, right? As
What?
I look at Loki.
are you referring to the fact that I apparently was knocked unconscious for most of the game?
No, that you didn't choose them and then you lost.
Right. Well,
This is more of the Joker way, like yeah, no, he's not gonna let you live this down.
what my twin has to realize at some point is that we're not always going to be together all the time. Even though we are twins, we need to be able to fend for ourselves sometimes. We're not going to always be together.
Yeah.
Because I think you and I both know that together is not permanent.
It is.
Eventually, we go our separate ways, one way or another.
We're always together in the heart.
She won't say anything, but she'll just look down at the pieces of gun gear, which I assume you still have in your hands.
Yeah.
And then she'll say, "Oh, gun gear. Oh no." And she's just going to place her hand on it. "I'm so sorry, Father."
That's all right. I get to spend more time with you guys.
What about the rest of the games? Isn't this going to affect the rest of the games?
Maybe. But since my team won, I'm not in fear of being voted off. And I don't think they're gonna vote you off, which means the three of us get to spend more time together.
I don't know about that. I don't think I did really anything in the games between you and I.
You're a smart girl. I think you can handle it.
Well, I guess only time will tell. It also depends on what the next event's going to be. Or if we're even voting people off now. I have no idea.
Not a very
Yeah,
in-depth conversation, but I'd teleport right next to Thor, putting away my sword and just say, "Be lost."
I don't think I really helped matters. Although I was hearing that you were very active, probably carrying the team as best you could. So it was a valiant effort.
I suggest we have a team meeting after everything settles down.
I agree. I completely agree.
At the moment he teleports away, like Nave was just standing there and keeping himself straight, and the moment he teleports away, he's just gonna slump towards Homeboy. Oh, thank God he's gone. I'm really tired. I was stabbed 2 times, almost 3 times. He was going insane on me. But we won.
I was kind of surprised at how brutal things got there at the end. I didn't realize that Chrono would have it in him to actually attack you. Not
I
like
think-
that, at least.
I think he really wanted to win, and he's no fan of my illusions, so kind of hit a nerve there. I think. Oh well, we won. That's the most important thing. By the way, that our plan was so good. Amazing execution. Well
Hey.
done, old boy.
You and I make a good team.
An excellent team. I'm so glad we are in this together right now. Team Blue is gonna destroy them.
There's also another thing. I mean, the fact that we won is great, of course. Obviously, that's the most important thing. But I got something else that I wanted to show you.
Yes.
So while I was looking around around the in the gauntlet, I stumbled upon this, and he opens up his cloak, and he has what appears to be a little rag doll with a cape on it. And he says, "Do you know what this is?
No.
It's an immunity idol. They told us that these things were hidden all over the place. You
Oh,
just have to keep an
yes.
eye on them." But the thing
That-
is, he says, I haven't told anyone else, not even anyone else in our team. So do you want this, or do you want me to hold on to it?
Do you remember that you wanted to become very good friends with a certain Loki? Maybe this is a very nice gift to start that friendship.
You want me to give Loki the immunity idol?
Yes, because this is probably something voting related. And at this point, I'm pretty sure that we already stand strong in this. That this is thinking ahead of the game. If you understand what I'm saying, one boy.
Sure. I mean, I definitely was gonna, play nice with him and try to convince him that, that
Yeah,
I was
understand
gonna
what you're
convince
saying.
him of things, but
Mhm.
I didn't know I necessarily had to give him an idol for it to do that.
Everything works for that guy.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah.
Good job finding. You don't have to do this, by the way. If you want to keep it to yourself, do it. Just keep it for yourself. But it's an option. It's a very good option.
Well, of course, I'm going to tell you everything I do. So for right now,
Same.
just assume that I'll give it to him. Let me at
Alright.
least see what he says.
Great job, one boy. Great job.
He's going to give you a pat on the back.
Mm-hmm. That
Um,
almost fall down.
He's like, "You too, buddy. You too. I'm always there for you. I got your back. I'll do everything. I'll do anything for you, bro."
I appreciate that. I really do. Thank you, buddy. You might be wondering why, Dave? Did you let Homeboy give away that very powerful idol? Well, you see, people. First of all, I will not be needing that one. And second, some people might be playing games that are far above this little contest. Watch out, Loki. Because in the very end, I will be victorious. Always.
The points are tallied up. The winning team, which is the blue team, will receive in-game. They'll receive some bonus XP in-game. Out of game, everyone on the blue team, who is a PC, so that is Knave and Odin, you automatically get one bonus hero point for the session.
PowerPoints.
The contestants will be lined up again with their teams, and Livestream will come out to congratulate the winners. And Livestream will say that now that the very first event is complete, I'm afraid that we will have to say goodbye to 2 people, one from each team. So this is the part where we will start voting people off one by one. I would like for each of you to think very carefully whom you would like to vote off. We will tally all the votes, and then, assuming that there aren't any immunity idols involved, the people who are voted off will be immediately taken out of the game.
I think me and Joy know who we're voting off. Sadly.
Okay.
Who plays as
Because
sociopath?
because Knave and Homeboy are a duo, and Loki and Odin's a duo, and secretly, because of the beta group, Knave and Odin's a duo, which makes it a a tentative 4-person alliance in a 5-man group.
Rip.
He's a fifth wheel.
Uh-oh. Yeah, that'll be interesting. Okay.
Maybe we
So-
should do this in secret then.
Do you want to do this in secret?
You're gonna vote. Oh, are you gonna vote? Oh, are you gonna vote off Loki so that he can use the immunity idol? Because of course he's gonna waste on his first turn, so that he feels nice.
Maybe.
You all don't know if this is happening before or after. Like, you don't know
Yeah.
if Loki has the idol yet. Maybe he
Mhm.
does, maybe
Yeah.
he doesn't. I
I
haven't
don't care.
specified
I don't
yet.
care. That's what I'm thinking. I'm like,
Mhm.
Knave's. It's all just to fuck with Loki. Like this is just. Actually, I think I had a different plan too, just in case.
So everyone on the blue team has to vote for one person, including the NPCs, from your own team. It has to be from your own team to vote off. And same thing with the red team. Someone from your own team to vote off. So you want insight on who's voting?
Oh, Loki.
Odin? Loki? Yeah, roll me an insight. It's 11, so I'm going to say it could either be Knave or it could be Root Canal. One of those two.
Darn.
Knave or Root Canal.
I'm gonna go up to Moji afterwards and kind of off to the side, away from everybody, and just, hey, how's it going, Moji?
Moji's going to turn into the sobbing, like tears streaming down his face, sobbing.
Yeah, I know. What sucks is we have to vote someone off now.
Moji will nod, and Moji will basically take his, transform into the hand thing, and then point to you, and then try to. He only has one hand, so he's gonna do this, like a motorcycle.
Fist bump. Oh.
Well, no, he's if he had both hands, he would be doing this, like he was on a motorcycle, but he only has one hand, and then he points to you again, and then he gives you a thumbs up.
Oh, I really feel like I didn't do anything. I was just keeping up.
And
Hell, even when he was defenseless.
and then Moji is just gonna take the hand and just give you a big pat on the back, and then we'll take his little finger and just put your chin up a little bit, like just bump your chin up.
I know. I should keep my chin up, but I don't know. We all did a lot, I think, but I don't know who to do it. I love everybody on this team.
Turns into the big heart. Boom, 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 boom.
It's a tough choice.
And then he'll transform into a D20. He'll transform into like the D20 symbol. And
I
then
I don't have a die, so I can't roll for it, unfortunately.
he sighs. I think Moji will then transform into a coin.
How is that gonna work across 5 people? Are we gonna do a flip system, or I don't know. I don't want there to be hard feelings amongst everybody, and that's the thing about picking people you like. One of them's gonna have to go, and I know I will not be voting for Crunch.
Moji will tilt his head and as if
He's more of a
curious.
leader than he's an actual captain, by the way. So I think Thor should not be captain at this point. He's had experience leading a ship. So screwing this up. I don't know. I just, I like you. And I'm gonna give him a hug.
Yeah, he'll turn into the hug emoji and also give you a big warm hug. Emoji gives warm hugs, I would think.
I'm just gonna whisper in his ear, I'm sorry. And walk
Well-
off.
And he's just gonna watch you, watch you leave, and it looks like Emoji's in deep thought.
And honestly, it was more of a thing where at the end of the day, who didn't perform the best. And while Yellow and I myself as a player also really didn't like doing it, kind of decided to vote off Moji.
Everyone in this team has their own skills, their own powers. All of them are required for this team to work. And right now, you just don't fit the bill anymore. So nothing personal, but my vote goes to you. Odin.
So, for my first vote, I'll be voting Root Canal. She is an amazing warrior. But I have allies and my son. And with that, I cannot vote him out at this time.
I feel bad about that. And Yellow feels bad about that. Which is weird. Because I didn't think that would happen, but it did.
And I shall never vote out my own son. So I'm sorry, Root Canal. I must vote you out.
I don't know. I just feel like maybe I shouldn't be like a jack of all trades or something. It would have been a lot more useful if we had a single talent that I could do and I could do that. And then we couldn't. Because, well, I'm a master of none, jack of all trades. Well, I could do one thing, which is sarcasm, but that's Yellow for you.
I think then Livestream will go up and he will say, let us begin the hardest part of this game. As I said, I will now be reading the votes and determine who is going to get voted off on each team. Now remember, whoever gets voted off, although they are no longer part of the game, they are still going to be part of the show, at least at the very end. For these are the members who are going to be part of your council. Because yes, at the very end, your peers will be the ones who will decide who is the final winner of our game. So, starting with the red team, 1 vote for Moji. 2 votes for Moji. 1 vote for Yellow. 1 vote for Thor. And a 3rd vote for Moji. I'm sorry, Moji, but this is the end of the line for you. And Moji kind of just, his head drops down, but then he just nods in understanding. And he'll just transform into the waving hand. And he'll wave away from the red team. We will move on to the next team, which is the blue team. All right, this is going to be interesting. 1 vote for Loki. 1 vote for Odin. 1 vote for Root Canal. 2 votes for Root Canal. And a 3rd Root Canal. So I'm sorry, Root Canal, but again, you will be joining your peer, Moji, into an island where at least for the rest of the duration of the game until the very end, you will have to survive the elements and await until further instructions to participate in the council. At that point, Root Canal will turn to her team and say, well, I can't say that I'm surprised. I feel like I could have contributed more to our victory. So clearly, the four of you, I think, each fared much better in the gauntlet. So I apologize that I was the weakest link this time.
No, do not apologize. You tried your best. And he goes for a fist bump.
She'll actually give you a fist bump this
A
time.
fist bump, and then he does the explosion.
But this time there's no thunder.
You know, Odin, I have to say, I'm very impressed by you. I would have thought that, given your circumstance, you would be a little bit more downtrodden, but it seems that you're taking everything in stride, and I admire that.
Thank you. It's true, the spirit gives me strength, but I'm here in this world for only one reason. So, as long as that reason's here, I'm okay.
She says, I hope that despite your handicaps, that you will continue to be victorious, Root Canal says.
See you on the other side.
see
Hey,
you.
if I
Yeah.
get voted off, we get to hang out more.
That's true, but then who would keep Loki and Knave from killing each other?
That is very true.
She's just going to just give a mwah to her team as she goes and says goodbye. And then in true reality show fashion, there's going to be like a montage of emoji paired with emotional tear-jerky music of some highlights of the
Penny
two
whistle solo
players.
from Titanic.
Yes, exactly. And now, after that montage, live stream will say, before you all go back to your mansion, we do have one more event. Now, this event is not an event that will result in somebody getting voted off, but whichever team manages to win this event will be given an advantage for the next event. So, event number 2 is something we'd like to call the next top hero. Out of character, it's based off of the next top model. So for this event, each individual member of the teams will come up with some sort of promotional piece. If you want to think of it as a commercial of some sort, you may think of it as such, that basically shows off your character. Maybe they're rescuing somebody, or maybe they're in some sort of really cool combat situation, or maybe they are MacGyvering something, disarming a bomb, something along those lines. Basically anything that can showcase your character, and it'll give you a chance to also show people like what you stand for, what you fight for, etc., etc. So there can definitely be dialogue involved in it as well. If you want to give your character a costume makeover, you're welcome to give your character a costume maker as well. And the very last thing that you have to do at the very end is to give your next top hero catchphrase based on how many winning promotional pieces each team gets. The winning team will get an advantage for the next event.
Thank God
Okay.
I finally gave Odin attractive rank 2.